I feel that, for instance, for the longest time, senior managers would come and tell me that, they don't want to, in sales roles, it's a struggle to hire women because, when they give them feedback, they start crying. And that whole crying makes it so uncomfortable. And, it's just like, it's not working, etc. Because we have steep targets, we need to be aggressive. So the crying really comes in the way. And I have like coached so many of my senior leaders in helping them understand that it's just our way of reacting. It's not that crying is not a breakdown. And let's keep these two aside, right? So like if you give feedback to a male reportee, they probably react by either being defensive or they react by, going silent, all of that. This is our reaction. This is our way of processing, either because we think it's, this is unfair feedback, or we're, agreeing with it, but, we are sort of also self-deprecating in our head, which is making us cry. But crying is normal and it should be treated as another form of communication. Yeah. And normalizing crying at workplace for men and women, I feel, is a huge cultural shift which organizations with a lot of women can bring about.
That's so
and, on Friday was a day where we had 10 years of, Kaushik and I actually didn't start sugar. We started this thing called Fab Bag. Yeah. We sent our last Fab Bag in September. After 10 years of sending every month, 121 Fab Bags later, we finally had a closure there. So we had a farewell party for Fab Bag on 30th. And I remember going up and trying to speak and I just couldn't. I broke down. And then I came back and then we had some videos and stuff. And after 15 minutes, I went again and then I got through it. And that day, it was a very tough day, but later I'm very proud because I have in front of 270 people openly, displayed vulnerability as their leader. And it's like, I don't think there's anything else that can normalize this, but I really feel that getting comfortable with women crying at workplace is a cultural shift. Which will help women get through those setbacks, failures, and vulnerability and those phases, because it's just our form of self-expression, communication, and it's just normal. Yeah. So that's one. Second is, of course, this whole balance piece, right? It's a constant struggle, and I feel that there's just the whole onus of being perfect is just too much pressure for women. So I had both my children in the last 7 years, and Sugar is 7 years old as well. And for every single time, I've brought them to, work many times. And I've had encouraged the senior leaders who've had their own kids to bring them. Because when other young women see that phase that, oh my God, Vineeta is a terrible mom. She's struggling so much. I think it normalizes being just not perfect, right? Yeah. And those struggles, just the normalization of that brings a culture of okay, if she's so terrible at it and she can do it, then, maybe of course I have a much better support system and I don't deny the privilege that I have. But I often show up without help with my kids because I want my colleagues to do that. And we've had women get their kids to offsite and get them to work. And I just feel that if you get through that phase of 27 to 35, 37 for women, and they're able to stick with you, then you have them for the next 4 decades. And that's so powerful because that compounding is phenomenal. So I want to do more of that. And the other is, of course, ensuring that there is... we are vocal about the accomplishments of men, women equally. There's enough celebration happening of women leaders as well, because they are not going to advocate for themselves. So I'm going to need somebody to come in and advocate for how amazing they are so that, others can see their work, because men are just better naturally at doing. They're better at asking for a raise. They're better at talking about their achievements. Getting women to learn some of that. I think that those are the parts we've made progress. I think the part which is a pet peeve for Kaushik and me, where we've struggled, is that the most ambitious of women still leave their jobs because their husband is relocating, etc. And I just, it's just one of those things that I find it's such a cultural thing. that either it is coming from he earns more, and or it's coming from that, you know, there is this hierarchical superiority at home, that this is the default assumption that if there is a relocation requirement, the choice will be with the husband. And that I've, like Kaushik and I still feel that, you know, we're not able to get past that. We still lose a lot of great women because they move cities with their husbands. And I keep telling them that your career, your ambitions, your dreams are not less important just because you're getting paid lesser at this point. Yeah. Because if you leave something you're enjoying and you're good at, you're interrupting your compounding journey. So you might be getting paid lesser today, but what are you building in 5 years, 10 years? And if you have so much conviction in what you're doing, you have to let the compounding play out. So, you know, hang in there, don't quit. But it doesn't work so far. But it's one of my things that I want to get through at some point and figure this out.